Wasn't ready.
Hello everybody, welcome to the weekly Old School Q&A. I'm joined today by Mod Matt K.
Yo.
Mod Kieran.
Hello.
Mod Tom H.
Hello.
And Mod Ed. Today I'm your host instead of Mod Archie, so Mod Wolf.
Wait, you're not Mod Archie?
No, Mod Archie.
I didn't even notice.
He's currently entertaining our guests.
It's quite obvious. I mean, you've got bigger muscles than Mod Archie.
I'm way more manly than Mod Archie, aren't I? Have a lot of questions today. We also have Mod Ghost on the computer. He's going to show you what Vorkath looks like. So all the streamers today have been playing with that. What was that like, Ed?
It was nerve-wracking actually showing off to those guys, but we got some really good feedback from them. Like, hopefully we're going to make some nice little changes and make it even better for when it launches.
Absolutely. They've also been playing with Adamant and Rune Dragons, haven't they?
Yes, and people actually got a sneak peek of those because Boaty was streaming them. So if anyone wants a little sneak peek of Adamant and Rune Dragons, go and watch that back.
There are a couple of questions for Adamant and Rune Dragons on this list.
Oh.
But as always, if you have any questions, ask them in the chat at RuneScape. And we have Mod Rye on the chat today gathering those questions. So if they're not good, blame him. And we'll move on straight to the first question, which is from Abolish. And he asks, would it be possible to extend the time of the weekly stream to 1 hour and 30 minutes instead of just 60? It sometimes feels as though there's so many questions that go unanswered and little time given to certain other questions because they may have been asked before.
Didn't we answer this like just the other week?
I was ill last week.
Okay. Basically, we'd have to start it earlier, and we get asked so many repeat questions now. Actually, a lot of the questions we're kind of repeating. So I think it depends how many questions we try and smash through as to whether we can extend it. If we have a slower pace and we've got Matt with his dad stories and stuff filling time, then we can
what they want, you know.
then we can probably fill like 4 hours if he's on the stream. But otherwise,
I've got a good story about that actually.
I think it's worth bearing in mind that as much as these streams are really important to what we do, the more time we spend on the streams, the less time we're actually doing our jobs. So if you want less development, we could stream all day, I guess.
There's multiple things for it. The questions we don't get answered get rolled around to next week anyway, so the questions will always get answered. And we have had more than one stream where at the beginning Chris has come to me and Ash and said, guys, can you talk really low because I haven't got very many questions.
yeah.
So I think we do all right for getting through the questions we get. And again, if we don't get them answered in the Q&A, there's always we can always ask them on Twitter and Reddit and all the other places we hang out. So this isn't the only chance you get to see us each week. But I'll quite happily do these all day. Every
Also,
day
most importantly, these chairs are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Those lights are awful.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible seeing.
I think if we were sat here for like 2 hours, I think we'd probably all just start melting because we can't have the aircon on while we're streaming because it makes a load of noise.
noisy.
So
We've had 10 people in here just a second ago. It's foisty would be the term, I think.
God, you guys are some positive
I'll tell you what, you can imagine them on Christmas Day sitting there with their little bag of humbugs.
Right, next question then. Ruru the Wiz asks, from a developer standpoint, are there any items that you wish were not in the game or as strong as they were in as many areas because they might potentially limit creativity or influence future balancing?
I would say the dark bow.
yeah,
Because I think that is very high, and if it wasn't as high, we could do a few more things.
I'm not
run up
sure.
to that.
I mean, the dark bow has a place. It's a very slow weapon, but yeah, it's very high. Whereas
I think we could
something
do more
like
interesting with it.
I mean, the blowpipe makes it difficult when it comes to any range stuff because it is just so powerful. And it's not that I wouldn't.
On the topic of bows, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. Twisted bow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I have a reason to hate it at the moment because I am balancing new bosses, but it is just an absolute nightmare to work with.
It's a bit limiting,
Yeah.
things that we can do.
I'm not sure I'd want to remove any of them, but in hindsight, as there always is, there are items that we've released that have been too powerful or had too much of an impact in terms of like power creep and not left us the room to go up from there for anything else.
I'll tell you what else. It's the opposite way around. Instead of an item being too strong, an item being in the wrong place, the whole smithing and mining side of stuff, I think when it was originally designed, obviously no one expected it to still be going 16 years later.
Yeah.
But that's capped out what you can realistically do with mining and smithing as something which is useful beyond getting it to 99. But that's the other side, opposite way round of looking at it.
I've got a curveball
Ooh.
for something that annoys me as a dev and is annoying to work with.
QA, me.
Just say that was red.
I'm done then. Like, you just said it for me. No. Satchels.
Oh, yeah.
This little lunch boxes you get from the Tower of Life quest. And the rewards for the Tower of Life quest. What was the point? You can put a banana in them, a sandwich, and something else, but it's all rubbish.
Role playing. Take your little pack lunch to school.
Do you not like to, right, I'm going to go kill Zorgo, I'll take my pack lunch with me?
But it's completely irrelevant. It serves solely, it exists with object variables to track how much food are in it. And you've got to think about it in every scenario. I swear. I've spent more time deving around it than people have using it.
Yeah.
And there's like over 400,000 of those guys. Like,
if we removed it, do you think anyone would notice? They will now that we've said it, obviously, but
Yeah.
before we mention it today, do you think anyone would have actually known?
no. So just yesterday I found out there's mini tasks you can do in Kelder Grim.
Mini tasks.
Mini tasks like
Oh, the little
you get
jobs
assigned,
you do
go and get a red
Oh,
cape.
yeah.
Yeah.
Since when did that exist? I was like, what? What's this code? Oh well.
Fair enough. Next question is from Towelcat, and it kind of links with the recent news post that we had. I wish that CM was here, but they're busy at the moment at I believe a award show of some kind.
Oh yeah, no, social media awards or something, isn't it?
Something
I can't
like
remember what
that.
it's called.
But they're currently in London. But it kind of relates to the post that was released a couple of days ago, and that's, can Dragonstones be removed from the major arena? But rather than that, can also the activity of the major arena be buffed so that you're promoted to staying in the area as opposed to hopping worlds?
In what way do they want it buffed? How do they?
So I'm assuming they just want the Dragonstones removed, but to make up for the loss in points, just buff the other items.
Presumably.
Because the Dragonstones are so fast while the rest of the activity is really slow.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't actually go in there and do it properly. You just go around and get the Dragonstones, but so do all the bots.
I believe that the news post that we had mentioned that we'd be adding a level to pick up those Dragonstones, but I certainly agree with this person, the concept of, instead of just adding that cap in, we should also probably rebalance the activity to be better to do on its own than just that method.
Yeah, makes sense.
How did that link to the social media awards?
Oh, because I wish CM was here.
It was part of the integrity news
Yes.
post, one of the anti-bot measures.
Aren't they just the meme awards?
The
Like social media awards, like that's all it is. It's memes now.
What is a social media award? What are they?
You get it on I don't know, to be honest
We
with
went
you.
to the Golden
story time.
Joystick
Yeah.
Awards last week or the week before, and they had some famous comedian who I'd never heard of before because being old and stuff, but the other guys had. And he spent his entire time taking the mickey out of EA throughout the entire thing because it was straight after the EA stuff happened.
Yeah.
It's quite entertaining, quite frankly.
What was this comedian's name?
Danny someone, Danny something, I don't know. Ask Lee, he'll know.
I see it moving on in the chat.
I see it
Those
moving
guys.
on in the chat. Story asks, will the new Rune and Adamant Dragons be assigned as a Slayer task?
Yes.
Yes, they will. And then Matt Champion then had a follow-up question asking, any chance metal dragons can be grouped into a singular Slayer task in the future, perhaps for Slayer points as a cost?
I mean, we could, but it feels like it's a bit against the idea of Slayer, just lumping all the tasks together. Like, I know there's spiritual creatures have that, so it has been done before, but if people don't like tasks, I think there's better solutions than just lumping them all together.
Lumping tasks together like that is just a buff to Slayer.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You get the tasks you want more often, and you avoid the ones you don't want more often.
But coming back to the Adamant Rune Dragons, we are aware that people don't like new Slayer tasks being added, especially Metal Dragons, so we have made the weightings for those very, very low, and the numbers that you have to kill are very low as well, but there is, you can unlock extensions to them.
Cool. Sounds good.
So that's sort of the compromise we've gone with.
Cool. I'll take some questions from the chat. The Fat Matt asked, can you increase the points cap in the Volcanic Mine store?
Yeah, can you?
That's a question for Kieran, I think.
I know they specifically addressed it to someone, didn't they?
No?
Okay. Yes, we can.
There you go. MB Brabus asks, could you add a feature for a tool leprechaun to store a plant cure?
Seems sensible. I see a reason why
These are
not.
pretty quick. These are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Dawn asks, is there an update regarding Torag's hammers? It was polled months ago.
Did we?
We polled Poltorak Samus.
I don't remember polling it. I remember
rephrase that. We
discussing
did not
it.
poll Poltorak Samus. We
No.
discussed potentially polling it, so maybe
Yeah.
we will, but we've not polled it.
I think there was a discussion about what they could do, what we were thinking about, and there was no decision on what we wanted.
I think we should add oil drums to the game.
And
Give me use.
and so yeah, I'm pretty sure it was never polled.
Suggest buffs to Torag's hammers in the chat, and we'll try and catch them out.
Cool. Hexetera asks, could we have a similar King of the Skill style event, but for a race towards acquiring the quest cape, or perhaps the most quest points as fast as possible?
The reason we didn't do the quests in King of the Skill was because there's no high scores for quests, and we couldn't get high scores for quests done in time for it. Can do, but again, it'll boil down to high scores, and because you can't really do it without high scores.
Cool. Lord Suomi, not the real one, asked, what happened to the 100 Master Clue reward? Is there still a design competition planned, or was it postponed or canned?
I believe it's just something it's still planned. Just Mod Sweeney unfortunately just hasn't had the time to do it with everything else going on.
Cool. This one came from a lot of players, so I just kind of summarised the question. It was, are there any plans for a few weeks of quality of life and focus polls? There's been a lot of things mentioned in streams that you said you'd like to work on, but don't seem to have a lot of the time at the moment with so many updates going on.
Probably February. I think that's
we
usually do
most
it.
years we do February as a quality of life month. We usually do 4 quality of life polls throughout February. And I have a plan to do that again.
It's not the only time we do quality of life, though. We do slot in quality of life throughout the year.
Yeah, I think we've had, 18, 19 quality of life polls this year? Probably somewhere around that.
It's been quite a few, but yeah, we usually February try and get as many as we can.
Exactly.
On the topic of quality of life, I just now
Had a better quality life.
Congratulations. Raids, the private storage chest. I sorted out the drag zone on it, which made it very difficult to click. So that'll be in there, not tomorrow, but soon.
Oh, champ.
Quality of life updates are coming along.
Do any of you guys want to perhaps summarise the next couple of weeks' worth of updates, just so they're aware? I mean, they know what's coming out. Do you want to? Do any of you feel confident enough?
So we got next week. So this week we've obviously got Deadman stuff going in ready for Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when the Deadman final season kicks off on Monday. Watch that. That's good. What else have we got? Christmas is coming up a week after, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of
We're
weeks
doing that
for
on a
Christmas.
Monday update. I don't know if actually we've told them yet, but the plan is to do it on a Monday update rather than a Thursday update. So that's probably Monday the 11th.
I believe
So
that's the
we've
date.
got 3 weeks of updates left this year. That's
And then the week after that, I don't know what we're doing. We're probably sort of recovering from Christmas party, I would imagine.
Yeah, I imagine
week.
that'll be some qual features and stuff just to kind of tide you over a little bit over
we
Christmas.
have Christmas
and then,
week.
and then there's this quest that some guy's working on that's coming out sometime soon.
Oh, not again.
Another one, right after the Corsair quest, free to play next week.
Not another one, another 2. So we've got a bit of quality.
Also, quest going out next week as well.
We've got a bit of
Oh, yeah,
quality of
sorry.
life going out this week and the Deadman stuff. And next week sees the release of Corsair Cove, which is the new free-to-play area that we polled alongside Dragon Slayer.
Ash's quest is brilliant.
And yes, that includes
so
the
funny.
new free-to-play quest Corsair Curse, which has been developed by Ash. So it's automatically going to be good.
It's Ash's first quest since 2012.
Wow, that's a
And
while.
if anyone doesn't know his previous ones, you're looking at My Arm's Big Adventure,
Love
Swan
Story,
Song,
yeah.
Love Story from after 07.
That's cool. And then we've obviously got Dragon Slayer.
Yeah,
first
so
week,
yeah,
back
when
after Christmas.
Corsair Cove goes out, you will be able to see the myth skill, but you won't be able to go in just yet. But a few more weeks, January the
Little
4th.
terrible teasers. Aren't
Dragon
we
Slayer
terrible at
2.
marketing?
I got a note here on my thing to ask Kieran if he brought his book down, but it doesn't look like he did, so we can't say who was the closest with the King of the Skill guesses on who'd be on the highest scores.
John was.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet. It's pretty close. Highest total at the moment,
John
16
got
or
it
7.
exactly.
At 16 or 7.
Yeah, John got it
He
exactly.
did, he did not.
I was almost impressed for a moment.
So, right, okay. We all put our names on the board and what totals we predicted from when we
did
did it
this
a few
happen?
weeks ago.
You got a big one.
Yeah, I don't
so we did
remember
it
it
live on the
happening
Q&A. So we did it live on the Q&A. So not
Oh, so when
everyone
you say all, you mean the 5 people on the Q&A that week?
And then I put the scores on the board, the other day, and then John came in yesterday and put 1607 next to his name, and thought no one will notice. But I'll have you know, I'm the closest right now because I went 1620.
Go over, it's bust. It's Price is Right
That's
rules,
not how
mate.
it works.
That's how it works. Price is Right rules. Right, let's move on. Guimo asks, a while ago you talked about buffing bush patches. Are there still plans for this? And if so, when will we likely see them?
I think there's probably still plans, but it's
So
well
what
stuff.
patches were they?
Bush patches.
Bush patches.
Bush.
Bush.
Bush patches.
Bush.
I would imagine we might tie that in with perhaps the thing that you went through at Runefest.
Oh, farming guild.
Farming guild. So that
So-
seems like a nice time to do it with, unless it's going to be a small thing in the meantime. But
Is it bush? Or
it's bush. It's bush.
Bush.
What the
Yeah,
Bosh? What on
Bush.
earth?
I said bush.
It's
Bosh.
Bush.
That's is it like cleaning stuff, isn't it?
No, it's bang.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that.
They make like washing machines.
Yeah,
and
Bosch
stuff.
do. Bosch is make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
drills and
yeah.
stuff.
Now I was wrong.
that big farming update. Yeah, next year. I think it's
Interesting
pretty
thing
exciting.
about Bosch, all right? Right, this is actually really interesting. When I worked for Home Base, we get the people come in to sell you drill bits, and they said every drill bit in the entire world. This was 10 years ago, so well, 15 years ago. Every drill bit comes out of one factory, which is owned by Bosch. They make all the drill bits in the world.
I don't believe that.
Oh, it's probably not true anymore, but
Yeah.
it was back then. There was only one drill bit factory because you need such specialised equipment to make a drill bit.
Right.
I see a few moving on.
Yeah, I
from
see
the
a few
chat.
moving on. Let's ask the questions in the chat again. So Ranger
I thought I was
Doom has
interested
asked,
myself, but-
can you please update the gem bag to hold cut gems and also have the same effect as the coal bag, which lets you make jewellery with the gems inside, similar to how coal works with bars?
I imagine it's probably doable. I have no idea what the code is like myself.
I don't either.
So it could be a fairly easy job, or it could be an absolute nightmare depending on how the code is.
Surprising amount
There's
of no's in the
never
chat
an
now.
answer of moderately. It's moderately difficult to do.
Yeah, it's always moderately. Do you want to maybe straw poll that? Because
It would be a big
actually.
buff to cutting gems
Yeah.
and the XP
Yeah.
you get for doing that. That's why.
All right, we'll get a straw poll in for that one. And we'll
The
move
feature
on.
of keeping cut gems in there, don't really see any problem with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that bit
that's-
on its own is pretty good. As well as cut gems, or just one or the other? Would you have both?
I mean both. Yeah.
Cool. Adam FTM asked, as per the Reddit post, and as Chris isn't here, please can Mod Ed cast Vengeance?
What does that mean?
Why do you think Mod Archie ain't hosting?
What?
Chris said that you would do it if Mod Swing and Isa did the Macarena.
Yeah, so there you go.
I don't-
So
what
I
is the
will,
Macarena?
I will
Whoa,
take
whoa,
on that.
whoa! You
never done
you just
Macarena
have to
before?
ask what
I mean, I've heard the word Macarena.
You've never
That's
done
not
the Macarena?
that's
You've
the
never
song.
done the
But I don't
Macarena?
have I don't have any
It's a
knowledge
type of
about
pasta. You're fine.
like did you not live as a like
Yes, I
school
did.
school discos Macarena?
How do you not
Yeah,
know what
but-
the Macarena is?
What?
All right, sorry, for the record, I'm reading out the
He's
questions before
he's
reading
from
them. That's my
Newcastle.
mistake.
School discos in Newcastle weren't like that.
Yeah, they're like
I
just
grew up
stabbings
on,
and stuff.
I grew
aren't
up on Metallica, Alice Cooper, and Iron Maiden, etc. Okay.
Oh,
I've got a really interesting story about Iron
Edgy.
Maiden though.
So CR7 asks, can we set more than 4 fairy ring codes as our favourite? How about that?
I would like people just to be able to have as many as they like, quite frankly.
You favourite them all, it becomes a bit defunct at that point, I think.
Indeed.
But-
But I think once you've done it once, it's not the most. I mean, it's great first time you do it when you understand how it all works, but then it just becomes a pain to continue.
Yeah,
doing
I
it,
think we should just
in
be
my
able to
mind.
have the list and.
But I think you've got to at least do each one once.
Yeah,
to lock it
definitely.
in, and then click the lock in button or something, and then it allows you just to choose them. Would be my thinking.
Fair enough. AmaTRS asks, will Vorkath count as a blue dragon on Slayer task?
Yes, and he will have a boss task as well.
Excellent. The straw poll is in. Should the gem bag be capable of holding cut gems as well as being able to make jewellery from gems stored in the bag? Yay or nay? The yays are at 57%, not really a very high yes rate, to be honest with you. But I think holding gems was a little less contentious.
Yeah, holding them should be fine, but
It doesn't matter who's on the chat. Every single week,
Instead of
that
yes or
person
no.
feels such power and decides, I can't just put yes or no for the answers. I have to be more creative than that.
yeah, I got told off when I tried it a while back for saying what was it? Yes, pleasey, lemon squeezy, or no way, Jose, and I had to redo the poll with
Yeah,
a
'cause
standard
people
yes
forgot.
or no.
To be fair, I think
The
when
results
Kieran-
were the same, so
I think when Kieran was dressed up as a cowboy, I put yeehaw as the yes.
No one needs to be reminded of that.
That was a brilliant moment in history that never needs to be forgotten.
If you did not
carry
see
on with,
Kieran as a cowboy, do feel free to go back and look it up. It's probably all over YouTube.
It's all over YouTube.
Yeah, please do link it on Reddit and upvote it to the top of Reddit.
Pretty sure that was a different person.
But you carry on with what you want to do with straw polls, right? That's
You do you.
You do you, man. You do you. So, I think it's actually a good time right now to probably hop on over to Mod Ghost over at the computers. He's got a little sneak peek of Vorkath, the repeatable boss fight after Dragon Slayer 2. He's been working really hard at it. So, are you ready, Gareth?
Yeah, I'm ready.
There we go. Let's go over and jump over.
Dabed.
Hello. Right, okay, so this is Vorkath. I'll show you the concept that I started with. Yeah, like that's ever going to be achieved. But I can do my best, and this is apparently my best, to get something close to that. So I'll just give you a quick turntable around the model. There we go, that's exciting. So the difficult thing about animating this thing is going to be that it doesn't actually have functional wings, so I can't mirror the animations. And it's only got 3 legs. So one of these wings, this left one just here, is going to have to act as a front leg, so it will move very interestingly and very eccentrically and very asymmetrically, but it's going to take so long to animate, so long. So I'm kind of a little bit unhappy, but happy at the same time because it's good to have a challenge, and it should look lovely and really come to life once it's done. So I'll just give you another quick look around the model, and then I'll hand you back to those guys. There we go, and the concept as well. Great. So more to come in the next couple of weeks on this. Hopefully we'll have some animations for you in roughly about 2 weeks' time. Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff. What do you think, Ed, seeing your stuff come to life?
It's going to be so nice to get that in game. So, like, I dev Vorkath pretty early on in Dragon Slayer development, so he's been ready, like, dev-wise for, like, well over a month, like, nearly 2 months now, but it's just been this massive blue dragon. It's going to be great to actually finally get a model in better rather than just this blue dragon walking around.
A few people have been asking, why has it only got 3 legs?
One fell off.
It's a mouldy dragon, so...
That's
Yeah,
like a bad joke.
it's a zombie dragon. Yeah. He's fallen apart a bit. He's not having a great time of it.
There you go.
Right. I'm going to ask a couple more questions from the chat, because there's a couple there. Low IQ EXD asks, is the Well of Goodwill ever coming back?
Probably not.
Any reason?
No, that I can give, no.
Fair enough. Dusty Lasagna asked, farming timer update. How are we doing with that?
it's still needing some testing. It's quite a lot of testing, very significant task, but I'm hopeful. I mean, Mod Curse has been working on it and is hopeful that he will have it out this year still, before the end of the year.
It's not a very easy thing to test with how long farming takes.
We've had
There's
to
no
have
shortcuts, really.
like some tools made so we can actually have accounts permanently logged in, avoiding the 6-hour timer and everything, so we can actually track it all properly and test it. But the aim is still this year, so fingers crossed.
Cool. OSRS Gasp asks, is the Barbarian Assault Arrow rework going to be sometime this year? I think that's specifically to you, I presume?
It's when I get time to do it, really, which, yeah, I should hopefully, once Deadman's gone amazingly, around sort of over the Christmas where we're a little bit quieter, I should hopefully get time to look into that then.
Cool. I'm going to go back to questions that are on the list here. Nick Skill asks, can the respawn time of the Chaos Elemental potentially be lowered? Currently hopping for kills is pretty aggravating / annoying.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to ask for.
Cool. K Gaga asks, can you please change the odd delay in Tears of Gothics?
The what?
The odd delay in Tears of Gothics.
What's the odd delay?
I presume it means when you click and swap. I think that's part of the challenge, personally.
Yeah.
But
There is a time cost associated with moving, I think, probably intentionally.
Yeah.
But we've discussed it previously, and I think we all agreed at the time that we really should look at Tears of Gothics in a whole. At the rapid speed those streams move, it is pure luck and not skill to at least some degree in that system. So I'd rather slow them down a little bit, let you pay attention and do better because you're paying attention rather than just getting screwed over.
Yeah, you shouldn't be having big delays on something to make it more of a challenge. Like you should remove the delays and just lower the points or something like that. Those delays just make it nasty gameplay.
To just change it. I think there should be signals that so you know where it's moving or when it's moving. So those that are really paying attention get the benefit of being able to be like, oh, there was that little flash there, so I know it's going there. But those who aren't paying as much attention can still move fairly regularly to get it. But it's something I'd like to look into properly.
I like that.
I think just like a minimum time that it stays on a colour is more than enough.
If you have any questions, remember you can still put them in the chat at RuneScape. Model I'll be collecting those. Abolish asks, are we planning on adding any Slayer levels to the other kind of brutal dragons other than blacks?
No.
I think, we've been raised previously and we've said that we don't really feel that there's the need to.
They were added to blacks for a very specific reason. Consistency for the sake of consistency. What's the point in adding it to the others if it's not required?
That's fair enough.
Also, it'll mean Dragon Slayer 2 gets a Slayer requirement. Spoilers.
Ah, okay, yes, that's true. Neasta asks, could the rogues' chests in the wilderness receive a small buff? Currently, for a high-level thieving activity, there is a lot of old, inexpensive drops on the tables.
I imagine it's something that can be looked at, yeah.
That came with the first wilderness rejuvenation, right?
That's right, yeah. I was trying to think where I remember. That's so long ago now. Yeah. They were very good back then. But obviously, game has progressed over the years, so they're not quite so good, so I'm all up for that. Anything to get more people into the wilderness.
Cool. A couple of players asked this one. The Saradomin and Guthix demons represented in Major Arena 2, can they potentially be changed to something more thematically fitting to the gods that they represent?
I was having a chat to Mod West about this the other day. He said he'd quite like to possibly swap like the Guthix one out for an Ent or something, and then the Saradomin one for some Saradomin creature like a Centaur or something like that.
We've got our retrospective tomorrow, haven't we? Or is it Friday?
I believe it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So every time we do a piece of content, we do a retrospective afterwards. We look at what went well, what went badly, what we could do better, what we can learn from it. I think there's some obvious things we can learn from this one, and we'll talk about them and probably have some answers for you after that tomorrow.
Cool. Haxed1 asks, will the Salve Amulet work on Borkath?
It doesn't at the moment. Probably going to stay that way, depending on balancing. Like, we had a look back at other bosses and stuff, and it is a little bit inconsistent with how the Salve Amulet works. Like, most bosses it doesn't work on, I don't think.
Cool. Mod Rye has just asked a question, which I'm kind of interested in straw polling it anyway to see what it comes out. He's saying, what are your thoughts on only having the best in slot tier of Maxcape as opposed to what we currently do and having the addition, like whenever we create a new best in slot, we keep the old one. Should we only keep the best in slot for Maxcape? What do you think? And can we have a straw poll for that one, Rye?
I would very much like to see Maxcapes just stay for best in slot, because it's starting to get a little bit out of hand now. 3 new magic capes. When we add the new Ava's Divisive Dragon Slayer 2, that's another new ranged one. We can't keep this up forever.
Because we're going to do
too many of
so
them.
many, I agree. But
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like, for the Fire Cape, that made sense. I think with how hard the Infernal Cape is, most people are still only ever going to have a Fire Cape. But for stuff like the Major Arena Capes and this new ranged device, it just doesn't seem necessary.
I think realistically,
Especially
we
when
have
they
to
all
keep
look
that
the
rule.
same colour.
I think realistically, though, we have to keep that rule hard and fast. If we're keeping it exclusively best in slot, that would have to include the Infernal Cape as well, being the only melee best in slot cape.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. They might not like that, though.
so it's very.
And you got the
distinctive.
Ardy Cape as well, because I mean that's best in slot in a different way. But
I guess that's the thing.
That's the thing, there's such
where do you
variety.
stop when it comes to best in slot? There's loads of things which are best in slot at something.
I think it's quite a contentious decision, and the straw poll should help.
Yeah. Right. Well, while I wait for that straw poll result, I have a suggestion from Reddit, and I think it's the agility one. Have you got that, Ronan?
Yes.
Let's show that. That one. Yeah, Wilderness Marks. The player essentially has a desire to buff the Wilderness course by having it give Marks of Grace, but double the amount as opposed to 1. Oh, it can also be used for black graceful recolor potentially, which I thought was pretty nice.
I'm not sure I like needing like a specific different kind of mark. I'd rather just give double graceful marks, and it doesn't make sense just to give this other item which you then just convert it.
Could be.
And we can add the recolor potentially by just, minimum number of times you've done the course or something, and then you can spend your gracefuls on it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll either need to be agility related or wilderness related, the thing that's on the floor, so it doesn't have to be a mark of grace. I mean, it could be after X amount of time a totem, do we call them totems? The PvP thing you get?
Emblems.
Emblem, yeah.
Yeah.
Totems was something else. That was from, what do we call it? Artisan.
Rick.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah, so maybe that's another option, because it's got to be one of the two related, really, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That could be a rubbish idea, and or we could just invent totems.
Cool. The chat seemed kind of unanimously not really in favour of that, which
That's fair enough.
is fair enough. And on the topic of the Max Cape best in slot, the exact question that we asked was, should we remove the previous tier of Max Cape when a new best in slot variant is released? This will include the removal of the Max Fire Cape, and the yays are at 64% and the nays are at 36%. I presume that including the Max Fire Cape being removed from there made that yes lower, but as Mod Kieran said, it has to be kind of a hard, fast rule. We can't say only best in slot except for melee.
Yeah.
Unless you're fine with that, of course, but it's a bit inconsistent.
Yeah.
It would mean it's subjective. Going forward, if we released, let's say in 3 years' time we release another best in slot Magic Cape, but it's locked behind something of a similar nature to Inferno, then what do you do? We got to judge. Is this hard enough to say no?
Yeah. I think if we were going to do it, we'd have the one rule and just stick to it.
Sorry, I just saw a question from Defense Tier that was like, do you like trees? What's your favourite kind of tree in game? And I was like, solid question.
Yes.
What's your answer?
Mine?
Yeah.
Magic. I like how
Is
it
it because they
animates.
sparkle?
It's because it sparkles.
Yeah.
I like the ones on Nate's not
The
Arctic Pines, because they have
Pines.
this like swing animation. They look cool.
But
But going back to the last question,
Serious question, though.
the cape thing.
Yes.
I think we're all right. Personally, I don't feel that much desire to remove the old ones. Like, I think it's fine to keep them existing. But when you see somebody in that Fire Max cape, or you see someone in the first Major Arena cape, you just call them a peasant. Go and get the better one.
Wow.
Beat Inferno.
Does doing this help
You
the
got
players
Max.
in any way? Does doing this help the players in any way?
Well, that's the issue.
no.
Beneficially, I guess it's more for just... with the Magic Capes in particular, I think there was a discussion surrounding how they look and are they too similar. So in that scenario, maybe they might have looked too similar to the ones that weren't as good. The new best in slot. That might have been the main problem.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that
Because
they
from
weren't
our point of view,
differentiating
it's quite obvious a good thing for us, as we have, it saves us an awful lot of dev time when we're doing stuff. But that's not necessarily a thing for the players. So I think we've just got to sort of be mindful of what actually is a benefit for them on this. For us, there's a huge amount of benefit for us, because every time we make a cape, we don't have to worry about it. One less thing to worry about is good for us as a development team. But we're here to serve as you guys, not to make our lives easier as developers. So we just need to be sort of conscious of that, whether that's the right thing to do or not.
Cool.
That's my input. There you go.
Awesome. Z Dynamite asks, will we ever be able to have capital letters and symbols in a password to help assist in account security?
Probably at some point. If an account is hijacked, it's not through their password being brute forced. So the actual significant impact of that is very little if we were to do that. So the benefit you'd get is very little. Passwords just aren't brute forced. So.
Length of your password makes a lot more difference than symbols or capitals.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was something we'll work towards. It is a standard which we'll work towards that, I'm sure, in the future. But the benefit you'll get from it is not noticeable.
Cool. DY416 asks, why do the charged Dragonstone jewellery scrolls not work on Rings of Wealth?
You can only charge those in the wilderness, can't you?
Yeah, they were left out because of the fact they're exclusively powered by the obelisk. It was a wilderness benefit.
It's why they're not included on the new Fountain in the Myths Guild either. It's the only one it doesn't do.
Cool. BTC is asking when can we expect to see the integrity poll, for that matter, not poll, updates? Because a lot of them aren't being polled.
I don't know. I'd like to have a chat with Alec and Thingy first. Find out what their thoughts are about where we are with it. I mean, the big thing about it is the first iteration went out of what we think is the right thing to do. We got a whole load of feedback. Deadman's getting in the way of working on that directly because there's a lot of work that needs to go into that. So we just need to get that feedback and get our heads around it and make the right decision about it, and then we can get it out as soon as we can, basically.
Cool. Gazzo is asking when, for an ETA for that matter, on the leather and wooden shields. I believe Mod West spoke about this a little while ago, though.
Yeah, soon,
ago.
TM. They're
Soon.
pretty much done development-wise. I think it's just finding some QA time to get them properly looked at.
It's kind of hard at the moment, I imagine, because we have so much that's still coming out in the next couple of weeks. I mean, Matt, you just went through some of the stuff that we're going through. Yet just as equally, we're being told sometimes, maybe a bit more quality of life instead. So it's getting the balance right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Kind
absolutely.
of difficult.
I have to go. I'm sorry, but
have to
I'm
go?
leaving early, and I do apologise. But I have to go and do something before I go.
Enough. Those of us who do a full work day will just chill here for a bit longer.
We'll continue to answer questions from people who are
I
asking.
can tell you what it is if you really want to know.
Go on, then.
It is very important, but it doesn't sound very exciting. It's all to do with the mobile version of the game we're bringing out, and we need to put into it some attribution software so we're able to see where marketing goes, what happens, how we direct people into the game, what they do, and that sort of stuff. And I need to get something out to Google and Apple before the end of the day, before they go home rather than before I go home, which is only going to take me about 2 minutes to do, but I have to do it so that stuff can start working on that. So it sounds really boring, but it is quite important. So but I wanted to be on here because there's a few questions that I wanted to be involved in. So.
Cool.
Peace.
Right.
See
Take
you
care,
later.
Matt. Now we can talk about the real stuff. No, I'm kidding. Empress asks in the chat, could we please get some more Mythbuster and Storytime streams? Do you guys remember those?
Yeah.
Matt just
Left
can't do anything.
I think that's something we want to do, but just don't have the time for at the minute. I know Chris wanted to do some more, but now he's kind of moved over to a slightly different
What's if the sun zoom in?
sort of role. So hopefully, yeah, we will get some more done at some point.
Cool. I really like the Mythbuster ones. There's a lot of things people presume or just have always thought were the way it was. When
A lot,
Yeah.
of them, a lot of them have probably been answered though on
Yeah.
the previous ones.
It's true.
I guess it's been so long, people have probably forgotten now.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Octaves asks, can you add something to the mineral shop in the mining guild after buying the end upgrade for the gloves because they're useless after that point? That was pretty blunt. I shouldn't have read it like that, but that's how we put it.
Just send in your suggestions.
I remember suggesting a couple of weeks ago about the gloves. Can't remember what it was, but it's a couple of the ores that aren't currently working on it.
Probably you've had it a few times, people wanting to work on other ores. Like we chose those ores for a reason, like iron doesn't really need a buff and stuff like that.
Cool.
So maybe, but probably not.
I don't want to read that name out. Is there any chance of adding instanced Puro?
Instance pura. Why? Why is it? Yeah.
How do you say it?
Are you judging how I said pura?
Puro.
Puro.
Perry.
Why is it shocking? It's spelled P-U-R-O.
Puro.
For the record. Okay. All right. Okay.
Puro would be double R.
No.
All jokes aside, I do think
Puro? Well, it's not funny. It's how I talk. This is just offensive. Puro.
Triggered.
You get a whole
Why do you want it to be
yourself.
instanced?
Yeah, I think that,
I need the reason.
Yeah,
the reason is obviously so they don't have to fight for implings, but then
Yeah.
obviously the impling prices will crash. So,
Yeah, I can, no,
So
not,
the reasoning, they just don't want to see other players or interact with other players. So it's just instance the
Yeah.
entire game.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
the
no.
world's most solo MMORPG in the world.
Yeah, no, we're not going to instance Puro.
Right. Ace Edgel asks, when running, if you bury a bone, it will make you walk. Can you fix this?
Yeah, take a look into it. Don't know if it can be fixed. I don't know what's causing it.
Cool. Noob Mafia asks, is there any chance the Gothic's Balance Potion will have any use in Raids 2? It's used against vampires and expensive to make, but has 0 use at the moment.
I imagine it probably can. Sounds like a decent place for it to have a use.
What's that on the screen?
What?
The top left of the screen.
What?
What?
Is that a light? It's gone now. there it is. Well, I think it's your watch. It's your watch.
Oh, is it?
It keeps reflecting on the screen, yeah.
I'm really... Okay, sure.
I was like, is that on the stream? No, it's not. Don't worry.
Grumble16 asks, can you make the tournament worlds permanent?
As in the no safe game worlds where you log on, you got a load of supplies, set any stats.
I think we've had it kind of brought up a few times before. Like, while it is technically possible, it's kind of nice to have it as these cool events that happen. If we make them permanent, then no one's really going to want to do it when we do put them up.
We have them up
We also have used them for other things, and obviously make them permanent, then we can't use them for anything else.
Yeah, we use them for all of February normally, and so you can play it soon during Quality of Life month. But what we saw when we last had them open for that long time, like there's a lot of activity, people having fun on there, but as you get towards the end of the month, the server starts to die down. There's not many people playing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it would see a big hub of activity if it was up permanently.
No.
Cool. All right, well, there's only a couple of minutes left, about 5 minutes left, so get your final questions in for Modrai to pick up for us at RuneScape. We have one more suggestion that was on Reddit this week, and it is of the world map, I believe, so let's just get that up. It's to add the agility shortcut level to the world map when you hover over. So it would say, I need 15 agility to do this, or 72.
I believe it's been discussed before, and Moash has said it's possible. It's just work to do so.
It's not going to be a quick job, but I see why you want it. I see why there's a whole load of other
it's
fairy
something...
ring codes on the world map. All of this stuff is really good, but not necessarily a very quick job. Because that data for the agility level requirements are not in one place. So across the code base, you've got all these agility interactions. They're not very well distributed either. They're not all in one place in the code base. And then they all have the agility requirements hard baked into their code from when it was originally written. So we'd have to go through every single agility shortcut in the game, or use some other resource like the wiki, for example, to pull the data, push it together in one place, and then transmit that to the client so that the client can generate it with the world map. So.
And it was something that I raised during testing of the world map, as this would be a nice feature, and everyone agrees that it will be a nice feature, and we will hopefully have it at some point.
Maybe at some point we could do like a batch of world map improvements.
Yeah.
Pull a load of stuff onto there. That'll be really good for you.
That'd be a cool poll. I'd like that one. Arclight OSRS asks, when will there be an in-game poll for the Holy Sandals upgrade crystal?
What's that?
Holy Sandals? The prayer sandals.
But they want a better version.
I guess they want a crystal similar to the Primordials and...
When there's a good bit of content for it to go with, I guess.
Yeah.
We're not just going to put it in for free.
Yeah, makes sense. Haha Egged asks, will you ever remove the lady at blast mining so that clicking the sack will be easier? We can move her, I imagine.
Move her a bit further away, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. The Undead Furious asks, can we get a Slayer Helm variant for the new Gargoyle bosses with the eyes? I presume the colour of the bosses. But it's already grey.
Yeah.
Just the eye change colour?
There was a post on Reddit a few days ago of Slayer Helm recolours for all the bosses, and they'd literally list every boss. Just
I know.
Is there such thing as too many recolours?
Yeah, I mean...
When half the bosses are the same colour, yeah, there probably is.
It's also, like, every time we add in extra variants, it makes more work for any time we do any changes to anything to do with the Slayer Helm. So, I mean, if it's literally just changing the eye colour, I think it's just probably too much work for what it's worth.
Cool. Neocorticals asks, Inferno Horde mode update, please. Kieran?
There's no update. It's just going to be my tap project. I haven't
You were
started.
talking about it to
I
me
know
in
I've
the
been
car
talking
the other
about
day.
it, but I've got a lot of ideas for it. I haven't started actual dev work on it yet. So it'll be a tap project. I don't believe there's been a tap day since I last spoke about it.
That's true.
So yeah,
Any ideas on what will involve?
I'm not telling anyone what it's going to involve.
A ton of Jads.
Just sprinkle one on every wave.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The law user asks, will you add an observatory shortcut? I believe this one came up recently.
There's a job in for that.
Poll
Yeah.
it, we just need
It's
to
already
get around
passed.
to doing it.
Yeah, there's a job in for it, so
Okay,
it will
I
be
thought
done
I
at
saw
some
that
point.
recently. Cool. Game Improvement asks, can you add a max total world?
Oh, it's been discussed.
I genuinely am keen to do this.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where it's probably.
There's enough people.
Yeah.
It warrants it if they want it. But then who's going to poll for that? That's the question. I mean, who's going to vote yes?
I think it's really cool, and one of the reasons I think it's cool is because
It's a goal.
when if we ever launch a new skill, no one will have access to it.
The first person to
And-
get onto that world.
If you
Yeah.
get that 99 first, you've got a world to yourself, and that is really nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't need instance Puro.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. I think that's coming to the end of the stream. I did get told to politely remind you all the Deadman mode finale is on the 9th of December.
Yeah, I've been tweeting out some little teasers as to stuff that's happening. The new supply chest that was done by Mod Riot looked fantastic. I was thinking about maybe a little reveal if Kieran's okay with it, perhaps one of the items that the chest may contain.
Oh, we can tell them all.
Yeah?
Oh, now!
Okay, here we go then. So,
Spicy, here we go.
these chests...
Don't helmet in order though.
No, these chests will appear in different locations across the world as the fog moves. And when you get there, you can get some really, really powerful items. So some of the stuff we're looking at is there'll be Bandos chestplate and tassets in a chest. There'll be the Armadillo chestplate and skirt in a chest. There will be the Infernal cape along with an Amulet of Fury, which is going to be pretty amazing. There will be an Elder Maul in one of them.
Remember the last two?
I'm just trying to think. I know the last one. Oh yeah, I'm saving the most amazing till last.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Din's Bullock.
Bullock.
Bullock?
Bullock.
What's a
However,
bullock?
I should hope you're not getting Din's bullet.
Bullock, however you pronounce it. And the final one, and these aren't in the order necessarily that I've told you here, isn't the order they'll appear. There will be a lamp which will grant you 99 in any skill.
Is it any skill?
Any skill, like
So
if you want to
can
max
go there
out.
and you're just like, this
like
is the only
rune
time I'm
crafting.
ever going to
Yeah,
get
ever.
99 rune
Yeah,
crafting.
you
This
can
is my
use
moment.
rune crafting. So yeah, you can pick your own skill, and for those who've like mentioned on Twitter, what about like whether the locations, are they all multi or whatever? There's a mix. So there'll be some that are in a multi area, some that are in a single area. You'll be told where they'll be appearing. So everyone will have the chance beforehand to gather around the area before it appears, and then it will appear and everyone can fight over it. And bear in mind that these are only going to be, one person that gets it.
A lot of exciting changes for the
Yeah.
Deadman. Number 8,
So-
this is the winter 2017. It's worth keeping in mind, like you said, only one person will be able to get those chests. There's 6 chests overall, technically 7 because one appears.
Yeah,
in
during
each
the
end
final
areas.
fog jump, there'll be 2 of the chests because both final areas can't access the same.
A couple of people are asking, no spec weapons. Again, we didn't want it to be too powerful.
Yeah, so
Too powerful?
we discussed AGS, Dragon Claws, and they were just, you get through to them, to the 1v1s with them and start being able to spec people out. It's too powerful. These are items we wanted to generally help you get through to that knockout tournament stage. And in all honesty, it'll be really interesting to see whether or not anyone who gets the chest makes it through into the final 128.
I'm looking forward to that one person that runs to a chest, clicks on it, and runs away, and
Yeah.
just scampers off with it, and nobody notices them. That's what I'm looking forward to personally. But yeah, 2 final areas, 128-person knockout mode at the end. stuff to watch throughout the entirety of the final hour. So we've got some focus every time the fog jumps. When those loot crates appear, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, 9th December. It's in Leicester, ESL Studios. Make sure you watch it on Twitch. I believe that there's still tickets available.
Sold out.
Sold out now. There you go.
Missing out on
£5.
that free bar, guys.
Free bar, mate.
Sucks to be you.
Right. Thank you very much for a wonderful Q&A. I really enjoyed hosting, so thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for joining us, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.